Hello everybody, I'm Mostly Meta Mike, and I am super excited to be doing this video. After a couple weeks of getting everything set up and finding the right programs and doing everything I can finally make the video that inspired this channel. Something I like to call Magic System Monday. Basically, the plan is every Monday I'm going to come on here and talk about a magic system from a book or a movie or a TV show or whatever else I can think of that would be interesting, and just sort of discuss its ins, its outs, and my theories around it. So, as you may have noticed from the title of this video or the graphics I have up, this one's going to be about the magic of Encanto. Now, I have seen Encanto twice, and I have done my damnedest to not watch any other theory videos, any other headcanon videos, anything else by anyone else that would skew what I came up with. I've done a little research, a little bit, just to get some facts straight, but other than that, all of this is coming off my own dome. So let's get started. First of all, obviously, spoilers for Encanto. I'll start by laying out my two fundamental beliefs about the magic of Encanto. One, the magic does not come from an exterior force. I don't think it's a gift from heaven. I don't think some supernatural being bestowed these powers. I don't think it's magic itself coming together. It is my firm belief that the magic itself comes from Abuela. Basically, I think she cast a spell. Now, what really does it for me is this moment right here. The magic takes effect when Abuela is at her absolute lowest, when her emotions are at the most raw. By the way, I'm going to be calling her Abuela on here because that's pretty much how she's referred to in the entire movie. I know she has a name, and after pausing this recording to go look it up, I know that it's Alma. But I'm going to be calling her Abuela because that's what she's called throughout the entire movie. So what I think happens is the worst thing in her life happens. Her husband dies. And that unlocks a moment of power in her. And she reaches out with that power and she casts a spell. And what is the nature of that spell? I think it has to be the thing she wants the most in that moment. For her family to be safe. And it works. The horsemen who are chasing them are driven back. Great mountains are raised up to protect them, and they are given a home, unlike any other, in Casita. Now, this next part also feeds into my next point, which is that the magic also reaches out to Pedro, Abuela's husband. And I think it also grants his dying wish, which is that his family is happy. From the little we do see of Pedro, he seems to be a very loving and very fun-loving individual. And I think at the moment he sacrifices himself, Abuela's magic reaches out to him too and grants that wish as well. I mean, just look at the form the magic takes. It's represented in the candle from their wedding. And on that candle and within Casita itself are images of the butterfly that led them together. The same butterfly we see on Mirabel's dress later, and quite possibly the same butterfly that leads Mirabel to her better understanding of her grandmother. In a way, you could say that the magic is the potential love they could have had together, but shaped through Abuela's grief and Pedro's sacrifice. Now, I said this was going to feed into my next point. Here it is. The second part of my core theory about how the magic works is that the magic is split into two pieces. One, the initial spell that created the Encanto, created Casita, and animates it, and a second part that's more like a seed that can grow and become stronger. I mean, we already know that there is a clear separation between the gifts and Casita. When Mirabel goes into Bruno's tower, Casita can do nothing to help her. Casita has no bearing on the rooms created when the gifts are given. To me, that says, while yes, they are connected, they have to be two separate things. So, having said all that, here's how I think the magic works and why it presented in the way that it did. First, if the magic does come from Abuela herself, that would explain why she is never given a gift. Her gift has been given already, in essence. And while the magic of the Encanto is keeping them safe, the triplets, Pepa, Bruno, and Julieta, I might be mispronouncing that, sorry if I did, they're just growing up safe, and being happy for them is easy. And being as happy as they are, that second part of the magic, that seed, it begins to grow. This growth being represented by the light of the candle. So eventually, the magic gets so strong, it is able to impart some of itself into the triplets. Now, it's important to remember that they're triplets, meaning they are all the exact same age. So whatever criteria of the doors appearing, be it their birthday or a certain day of their 8th or 9th or 10th year, or whatever it is, for them, it all happened at the exact same time, and there's no way for any of them to know what it meant. Casita can't communicate that to them. Again, I think they're separate. And you have to think about what we know about the nature of the gifts thanks to Antonio. Their nature is determined by what the child is already passionate about. So we can assume maybe Peppa liked meteorology. Julieta, very obviously, liked cooking. Bruno clearly has a very vivid imagination, so maybe his favorite thing was to daydream about the future. And so the magic gave them powers in relation to that. And in these early days, things are good. I can imagine an upset Peppa willingly standing in a field so that rain falls and it gets irrigated. Obviously, Julieta heals all the woes of the town easily and happily. And I can imagine Bruno giving advice. Oh, don't build the storage shed there, or don't dig there for the well, dig there for the well. Because, as a side note, we know his visions are malleable. They're changeable. Not just because he doesn't know which way Mirabel's vision is going. He tells Dolores that the man of her dreams will be betrothed to someone else. But by the end of the movie, she's with that man. At least that's what we're meant to infer, I think. So, time passes. The Madrigals enjoy their gifts. The community grows. And the family gets happier. And it gets bigger. And that has to get Abuela wondering, will her grandchildren also receive gifts? Again, we can't rely on Casita to tell her. So all she can do is wait. And the children are born. Isabella, Dolores, Luisa, Camilo, and finally, Mirabel. This order is, I think, the key to understanding why the magic begins to fade. So, when Isabel's time to get a gift and a door and a room comes around, there's no way for Abuela to know. Isabella has probably been told about the nature of receiving the gifts, but she's probably also been told there's no guarantee she'll get one. However, we know she does get one. But because she's the first, there's almost no chance she had a door ceremony like we saw Antonio and Mirabel go through. There would be no point to start a celebration and get her hopes up and have nothing happen. A year goes by, and it's Dolores' turn. Now, they'd still probably be a little unsure, right? I mean, Isabella got her gift at the same time the triplets got theirs. So it's a good bet Dolores is going to get hers. So maybe they have a little party. Felix could invite his family. Mirabel's father, whose name is Augustin? I'm sure I'm going to mess that up. So we're just going to call him Mirabel's father. Mirabel's father maybe invites his family. And wouldn't you know it, Dolores also gets a door and a room. I imagine Isabella being happy for her cousin and being happy that the responsibility of being a madrigal of that generation and the only one with a gift is now off of her shoulders. So happiness continues to grow. And then comes Louisa. Louisa is where it all starts going downhill. They know for sure Louisa is getting her gift, and when it is happening. This is, I think, when the first door ceremony happens. The rest of the town has heard about Dolores's from Felix and Mirabel's father's family, and they want to join in the celebration. So Abuela makes the decision to turn it into a festival for the whole community. It is now no longer something for their family. It is something that belongs to the whole community.
You serve this community and strengthen our home.
I think Louisa is the first member of her family that has to walk alone, with all the eyes of the entire town and her family on her. I mean, this is why she feels more acutely the pressure of her gift than anyone else. At the same time, Dolores and Isabella see her make that promise to use her gift in service of the community. And you can just imagine Abuela looking at them and silently saying with those eyes, "This goes for you too." From that point on, happiness in the family is no longer growing. It is decreasing. It is being reduced by that pressure, by that stress. So that by the time Camillo gets his powers, the magic is already strained to its limits. Then a few months later, when it's Mirabel's turn, for that reason, and a few others that I'm going to be discussing in a future video about why Mirabel didn't get a gift, the magic takes her door away. The candle flickers, and it's official, the magic is not as strong as it was. Now, I think the cracks would have started forming right here if it wasn't for one thing. Bruno got his vision and turned away from the power. I mean, we see it in his flashback. His room goes dark. He has given back, essentially, his portion of the magic. And I think that holds the cracks back for a while. Jump ahead several years, and it's finally Antonio's turn, and the events of the movie take place. The magic has continued to wane, but maybe not quite so much. While Mirabel isn't treated necessarily as well as she could by Abuela, she certainly doesn't feel the same pressure as the rest of the family does. So in essence, any happiness she contributes to the magic is like untaxed income. It's free. And I think that gives it a little boost. So with the loss of Bruno, and Mirabel feeding the magic with her joy of just being part of her family, it's enough that the magic gives Antonio his gift. And for one or two other reasons that I'll be discussing in that other video I mentioned. Yay. But now the magic is at its literal breaking point. It has stretched as far as it can, and it's not growing any stronger. And then Mirabel gets left out of that picture. And she goes from net happiness to net unhappiness. And that's when the cracks start forming. Why? Because I think that second part of the magic, that magic that is reliant on their happiness to continue and to grow, I think it starts pulling some of the magic out of the Encanto itself. We see later that it's not just Casita that's being cracked, that the entire mountain range is being broken apart. In essence, Abuela's original spell is broken. The Encanto is open to the outside world once again. Now, how does it come back? Mirabel casts the same spells that her Abuela did. But instead of being fueled by sorrow and grief, it is fueled by pure joy and fresh unity. I think After they rebuild Casita and Mirabel brings the magic back, it's no longer in two parts. I think it is one big, growing magic. So that is how I think the magic of Encanto works. As I said, I have other videos planned. Why Mirabel didn't get a gift. The relation between Bruno, Mirabel, and Dolores. And what the rooms of the Madrigals that we didn't see look like, and what the ones we did see tells us about them. I am mostly Meta Mike. Thank you for watching this, the inaugural video of my channel. If you see fit to, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave me a comment. Hope to see you next time.